number one, I've always liked the style, that Doc coached. It's not saying I don't like pop style or sports style, but I just think this team, I think I could have the biggest impact, and I feel like they had a role that I could fill.
Your conversation with Doc, I mean, it's sort of like you've been in this recruiting process. Tell me the conversation that you guys had and how he kind of told you on this.
Doc is a laid-back coach, and that's really kind of a breath of fresh air. A lot of times in the NBA, you have a lot of coaches that really stick with about a lot of things, and his laid-back nature is very appealing. The style of offense that he said, they play, which I was familiar with. We play against them. They run you to death, and they get up a lot of shots, and a lot of alley hoops. It's an exciting way to play. It's a fun way to play, and that's always intriguing. Especially for an offensive minded player like myself.
Emotionally, what's this been like this past week?
I think it's been more emotional for my wife, probably than me. She heard about the trade. She's like, "Oh, what am I gonna do? I've been in Indiana, forever." I was like, I realized that the trade could happen. I was in the last year of my deal. You have the valuable expiring contract. So when it happened, I packed up the next day. I was in Philadelphia. Talked to those guys, and which is a great organization, by the way. And we found something that works for both sides. And then I left, and actually I was in Philadelphia for probably about 3 days. Then I left, went back to Indiana. Saw my family, saw my kids. And I came to Los Angeles. I have an off-season home here, and my agent's based here. So we fielded a bunch of calls from different teams, and then I made a choice. This all happened within 3 or 4 days too. So it was crazy.
Where's your league when you played in the league when the Clippers were not so good. You've seen their facility.
Yes.
Part of the thing. Talk about the decision to come here and how the culture has kind of changed here.
The culture's changed tremendously. First, when I play here in the off season, a lot of us come to the Clippers facility. So you're familiar with this. It's one of the newest facilities in the NBA. A lot of state-of-the-art things that they have there, and the culture's really changed. I think bringing Doc here and CP, and obviously probably the best power forward in the game with Blake, is a winning culture now. And I think playing in the Western Conference is such a challenge because you have so many teams that's so good. In the East it was really just Indiana and Miami, but out here, I mean, you're 2 games away from the 7th seed and 3 away from the 1st seed. So it's exciting basketball.
How's your conditioning right now?
It's good. Throughout the week that I was off, I trained, I worked out, trained hard. Obviously that doesn't compare to real NBA minutes on the court, but I don't think it's terrible. And I think I'll get it back pretty quickly.
How long did you have you lived in LA? Does that make the transition a little bit easier to?
Yeah, I've been here for 7 years every summer, and it makes it a lot easier. Like I said, I already have a house here, familiar with the city. I know my way around really well. My wife was thrilled because she knows her way around, and we have two 19-month-old twins, so they run our life right now. So it makes it a lot easier to just be able to bring them to a home here and kind of get on with it.
Danny, why did you choose the Clippers? How do you think that you help?
I mean, if you look at the way they play, they get the ball up fast. They space the court. They shoot a lot of threes. It's an up-tempo type of system. That's the type of system I would probably thrive in. That's the system I have thrived in my past. And believe it or not, playing that way, I think all the players want to play that way. Everyone gets their shots. No one's upset about this or that. It's just you play, you have fun, and you win.
What was it about the Clippers that made you want to come here?
You were able to be in your pregame rhythm and you're feeling like, okay, this is where I am. Has it sunk in yet?
It really hasn't sunk in yet, and I don't even have a pregame rhythm yet because, they tell me here a lot of games are at 7:30, and in Indiana it was usually at 7, and we had our practice court attached to the facility, so that changes things here when you don't have it here, and it's a different organization. Every organization does things differently, and it just takes a while to get accustomed to it. So I got lost walking in here. I couldn't find the players' entrance. I must have been 1,000 times playing throughout the years, and I still couldn't find a players' entrance to drive in. So I'm just trying to learn. Yeah, because I don't pay attention. We're usually on the bus, So I drove around Staples like 5 times for the players' entrance.
Since you live in LA, and I know that it's an expiring contract, would you be open to signing a contract to play in LA?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've always loved LA. And like I said, this city I'm so familiar with. It would be a dream to play here, honestly.
What do you tell the doubters out there who say, hey, Danny Granger hasn't been the same in 2 years?
I haven't played it.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
I know, yeah. I don't let it bother me. This year, earlier in Indiana, I was coming back and hurt my calf. After I had been laid off for a year. I don't bother me. I know I'm getting healthy, and I'm really healthy right now, and I know what I'm capable of. So I've never been one to even read the media. Even when I would have like a great game, I didn't read. When I had a bad game, I didn't read. It keeps you more even keeled. So.
Danny, having been a starter, do you feel that would be your best role on the team, or can you adapt if Doc says you're more effective coming month back, or do you think of yourself as a starter?
Well, I mean, I've always been a starter in my career, but the point I'm at now, coming to a new team, we have 25, 26 games left. Whatever role Doc sees fit for me is the role that I'll do. I'm not, one of those players that say, oh, I have to do this, or I have to do that. I just want to play, have fun, shoot some threes, throw some lobs, and go celebrate.
How much are you salivating at the opportunity of playing with a guy like Blake?
Oh, I'm loving it. I just remember how hard it is to defend, his screen rolls and him jumping all over the place and all over people's head, and it was very hard to defend. So to be able to play with someone like that is really special. You got to take advantage of the opportunity.
I imagine that'll open it up offensively for you.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
A shooter loves that, because they got to hold in and try to stop him. And then you got DeAndre on the other side, who you just throw the ball at the rim, and you get so many open looks as shooters. So that is the biggest gift a shooter can have is dominant bigs.
We got Chris Tosin on that.
And exactly, and he'll get it there. So
Is your family out here yet?
they get my family will get here Wednesday. Like I said, the twins make things a little difficult. So they'll be here Wednesday. Though. My wife and my mother-in-law coming with my babies. So.
When you signed with the Clippers, did you hear from any of your ex-teammates?
Oh yeah, they all text me. We always like brothers there. I watched most of those guys get drafted. And I wish them the best, just like they wish me the best. So I called a few of them. I called David West before he signed and asked him, about Chris. And I text Roy, I text Paul. A lot of us always keep in touch. We have great relationships. So.
What did David West say about Chris?
He said he's the most competitive guy he's ever played with. He said if you do choose Los Angeles, you'll love playing with Chris, and he's gonna do whatever it has to take to win. He said you'll love playing with Chris. It's one of the greatest places to play with. You know what? We was going through shoot around, and they was going through plays, and I was sitting on the side trying to figure out what were they running because I had an iPad last night that I went through all the plays, so I kind of just sat around and shoot around and tried to figure out what they was running today. So we got some plays that that I'm comfortable with, and maybe we'll run those. So.
All right. Thanks, guys.